Hello and welcome to the Overly Animated Podcast, where we take animation seriously. We provide fan-oriented and analytic discussions on a variety of animated shows, movies, and anime, currently featuring Steven Universe, Miraculous Ladybug, The New Powerpuff Girls, Star vs. The Force of Evil, and RWBY. I'm Dylan Hysen, and today I'm joined by Sam Quattro.
Hello.
Today, Sam and I will be taking you guys through the recently released yesterday Annie Award nominations. We'll be discussing them. We'll go category by category. And this is a little bit of a different podcast for us, but if you don't need to have seen any of the movies or shows in this to listen to this discussion. In fact, Sam and I have not seen many of these movies ourselves. So this is not meant to be a critical deep dive into these. Sam, once the Oscar animation best feature category comes out with the Oscar noms in January, which, you know, we'll get to this in a second, but I believe is a more legitimate grouping of films then. Although, you know, it's not great itself, but then this, well, Sam and I will go through each movie and we'll take a deep dive into them, or, you know, that was tradition last year. But so yeah, we're just going to walk through, we're going to discuss, and you know, we're going to say, like, are these good nominations? Like, what are your impressions of these films if we haven't seen it? Just so it's just like a casual going through of all of these. Don't need to have seen any of them. You can check us out at overlyanimated.com if you have not, and find all our iTunes links and stuff there. You can search the Overly Animated Podcast on iTunes. We're also on Stitcher, Google Play Music, other podcatchers. Yeah, so we're going to jump into this, Sam. I have a lot of caveats to start with. Okay, but first, we're going to be referencing annieawards.org/nominees. That's where I'm just going to literally be scrolling through that. I'm also going to look at rules and categories. There's a link there too, just for clarification on what the heck this category means. But that's the only thing. And if you're like in the car or something, you don't need to have that up. I'll tell you what's nominated. I'll run through them quickly.
No, you gotta like browse through whatever.
Well, it might be a helpful visual aid, you know, if you're on your computer, but that's
risk being in an accident.
I mean,
for this podcast.
I mean, you can like pull it up on your futuristic computer screen and
with your self-driving car and whatnot.
Yeah, if you're in a self-driving car, you can pull that up. There you go. That's a good call on that, Sam. It's the future now, right?
Yeah, it was in that episode of Black Mirror, and you know it's gonna happen.
I mean, I think that's right. It's already, Black Mirror already happened, as we knew from
a month
ago. Yeah, it's already true.
Just waiting for the bees to happen.
Yeah, the bees. Yeah,
bees?
Yeah. So you don't need to have seen Black Mirror to listen to this podcast. But okay. So here's a few caveats. So first of all, Sam and I have not seen any of these films and shows, and just everything we say, asterisk, we don't know what we're talking about. Like,
yeah.
So just know that. That's what I want to say. We're not
like we have an animation podcast.
I mean, look, we're one of the foremost animation podcasts, being one of the only animation podcasts. So, we have some authority to discuss these matters, but I don't feel comfortable generally discussing referencing movies that I have not seen yet. But we're just we're gonna like glance over them. So
isn't that a trope? Complaining about shows you don't watch.
Yeah, I don't like that. So, we'll probably do that though. Here, to be honest. Yeah. The second thing is like, I am very biased against the Annie Awards. I have not done extensive research on them. I mean, I've throughout the years, I've seen the nominations every year. I always think that they are not representative of the best animation film and television. There was a controversy a few years ago of Annie Awards being like a shill for Disney. I think that's true. I don't have any authority to say that. I don't have any insider knowledge. Annie Awards are transparent. They have their sponsors on their website. They're sponsored by Nick, DreamWorks, Disney, Disney again, Pixar. Cartoon Network is a gold sponsor. Like, this is not.
Yeah, they have tiers of sponsors.
Yes.
Wow.
So and Disney is in their top tier sponsors. You know, this is not a objective body governing all of animation. This is a somewhat of a for-profit thing. I don't know if it's for-profit, whatever, but they take money from the studios. That's not good. You don't want that. But this isn't, so these aren't, I don't think these are legitimate. You know, if you think they are, that's fine. I don't have extensive knowledge. I don't know if you feel the same way,
I feel like it's just, to give, you know, more clout to like the things that win, you know, like, oh, they won an Annie Award. That must mean, you know, it's good. When in reality, maybe that's not such the case as it is, you know, pandering and buying an award that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, I mean, all awards to a certain extent are that. But at least like the Emmys and the Oscars are the entire community as members coming together and rewarding the best within themselves. It's like that's kind of a noble pursuit. Whereas I don't think that's what this is. Although I don't really know who the voting population is with this. I tried to do some research before this, and there's some info on their site. But anyway, I don't think that these are good nominations. I do like that the Annies exist. Like there should be an animation awards, but it should be better. So maybe that's
they shouldn't have their at least they're transparent about their sponsorships.
It's good that it's there, but and again, if we're talking, and if you're like on the Annie Awards and we're talking outside ourselves, remember asterisk, we don't know what we're talking about for this podcast.
Yeah, asterisk, we are 20 something people with
so is a lot of the animation community, but and the other thing I like is that it's like you always see your favorite shows like creators go and they get dressed up and it's at a nice bar. I'm like, that's nice to have. That's nice. Yeah. And I remember watching Joaquim Dos Santos, I think, won for Cora directing or something, and we're watching the telecast. They also like put this online on a webcast whenever this is February, I don't know, January, and it was nice, it's nice. Anyway, so let's get into it. So there's the caveats. Anything to add to that, Sam?
The awards are February 4th.
They're February 4th.
Okay. And the next year.
That's 3 months from now. Good job.
Yes.
Good job with that. Okay.
No problem.
Yeah. That's too long. You should have. I mean, everyone wants like release before the Oscars, but whatever. So let's talk about, okay. So we're going through annieawards.org/nominations. We're going to start with best animated feature. And, the first thing that jumps to mind is that there's a second category called best animated feature - independent.
That's very interesting.
So I have this rules page up, and as far as I can tell, there's no distinction needed. There's no exclusionary clause for the first category, just animated feature. Anyone can nominate for that. However, for independent, you need to be shown on less than 1,000 screens in the United States.
And honestly, from looking at the movies here, the ones that I know of, it's just a lot of foreign films.
Yeah, so basically, if you want to be how Oscar eligibility works is a lot of films just show on a screen for a week in LA Christmas week, and that gets you eligible, even if you're not doing a wide release in the United States. So that's a similar thing here, I assume. But that being said, I don't think the first category has a requirement that it has to be more than 1,000 screens, which would be, I thought, my first impression was that was true because I saw less than 1,000, which would have been stupid because there's only probably 10 less than that releases a year with more than 1,000 screens animation. This year is probably more than normal, but, so that'd be a stupid distinction. And looking at the animated feature nominees, these are just all big budget films. That's the problem with, those are the nominees for animated feature: Finding Dory, Kubo and the Two Strings, Kung Fu Panda 3, Moana, and Zootopia. These are the 3 biggest animated releases of the year. What are we saying by nominating these 5 films? Okay, it's the 5 that had the highest budgets. Great.
Yeah. Wonderful. Great.
I see no meaning from this category.
No, I don't. Just the ones that were most popular that people are more likely to hear about.
I mean, I think all 5 of these had good reviews. I'm unsure on Kung Fu Panda 3. I don't know. That was
let's
February.
Look it up.
Yeah, it was February, but
I didn't even know that they made that this year. I thought that was last year.
Yeah, to be honest, I did too. I think it did get good reviews though.
I've never seen any of the Kung Fu Pandas.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I've seen the first and probably the second. It got an 87%. So all of these are good, well-reviewed films. That's fine. But it just means nothing when these are the 5 biggest. And this often happens in animated feature categories. It's just people vote for what they saw with their kids. I've seen 2 of these movies. I've seen Zootopia and Finding Dory and Moana, hopefully soon. And we're going to podcast on that whenever I see
hopefully.
It. How many have you seen of these 5?
I have also seen Zootopia and Finding Dory.
Okay, neither of us seen Kubo. We'll do that. That'll be nominated. So
because because me and Dylan Oscar.
Yeah, so that'll be definitely nominated. So I have very favorable impressions of Zootopia and Finding Dory. I think those both would be worthy nominees for an Oscar.
I don't know about Finding Dory.
I think Finding Dory is much better than Zootopia.
I didn't really like Finding Dory.
Yeah, I mean it's fine. I didn't really like Zootopia, but I recognize that it's
I need to watch that.
I also need to rewatch that one.
It's on Netflix.
Finding Dory I thought was particularly good.
I don't know. I felt like Finding Dory was just it was just Finding Nemo, but with Dory, and
I mean,
it felt. Yeah, I know it's a sequel.
Sequels.
No, it just felt too similar to the first movie. I felt Like I felt like it could have been like really direct to DVD sort of.
We don't need to get into it too much, but yeah, I think that's fine. And Moana's supposed to be great, Kubo's supposed to be great, so I think these are it's fine. But again, these are just the 5 biggest.
Oh God, what if we have to watch Kung Fu Panda 3?
Yeah, I hope that doesn't. I mean, I think I've seen the first 2, so
I would have to.
The
watch
first one was legitimately good. I can say that. But yeah. Anyway, best animated feature independent. Long Way North. I've not heard of that.
That looks French.
Yes, I think so. France 3 Cinema. Yeah. Miss Hokusai, which we were just talking about.
Yeah,
earlier.
that is one I really want to see. It was playing at my local independent theater for some stretch of time, but I missed it, so we had to wait. Hopefully that gets nominated for an Oscar as well, because I really want to.
It could be. It's in the running. My Life as a Zucchini. I don't know what that is.
Oh, that sounds.
Blue Spirit Productions. So I guess that's an Avatar reference. Maybe?
Oh, Zuko.
Yeah.
Dante Bosco produced it. What?
Wait, really?
No.
No.
It's apparently it's a French
French.
Swiss.
Yeah.
And it's stop motion.
Okay. The Red Turtle, which is a weird French Studio Ghibli combination produced film, which Sam and I are going to podcast on at some point. The Dialogueless, I haven't seen it yet, but
I didn't know it was Ghibli actually.
Yeah, it's Ghibli's. We'll talk about this when we review the movie, but since they stopped doing things until they're going to do the new Miyazaki one in a few years. They do animation for random projects. They did a video game. They did like this movie. So they've done a few things. Yeah. They did an anime.
So they're like the Studio Pierrot of a.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of just like the animation studio for it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if they have more creative influence or not, and then we have Your Name, which I also very much want to podcast on, which is
I want to watch that.
Makoto Shinkai movie, who's done, among other things, 5 centimeters per second, I believe, which I've seen and is excellent. That Your Name looks particularly good as well.
Yeah,
so I almost guarantee that'll be my favorite of these. But
from the Wikipedia summary, it looked pretty good.
Yeah. So thoughts? I don't know. Thoughts? We haven't seen any, right? So
from the ones that are potential podcast subjects.
Yeah.
I think it's a pretty good group. I think it's like as far as I can gather from them, they seem like very deep, like mood pieces almost.
So these are all kind of not major releases.
Very, very French and like French and Japanese, essentially.
Yeah, it basically seems French and Japanese. So the requirement for this category is less than 1,000 screens. That 900 screens is still a major release, though. I mean, it's not, so all of these, though, however, seem like 1 week in LA, December. Like none of these are going to be released widely at all. So it seems like Annie Award voters want to delegate this category specifically to the small ones and not vote for them in the big one and just kind of make it 2 categories. I think that's pretty stupid because then you're not actually ever recognizing the best movie.
Yeah, I agree. It's like, the best, popular movie versus the best.
Yeah, the Emmys do this with, they have 2 animation categories. They have short form and then they have, just normal, which is, so the half-hour ones like your Gravity Falls, versus your 10-minute ones, 11-minute ones like your Steven Universe. But the problem is like, there's no best animated, TV show of the year. There's no reason to break them up by length, much like there's somewhat of a reason, but it's not as, that may be criticism with the Emmys, which are also not legitimate for the animation.
Is anything really legitimate for animation?
No, that's a larger point. We can get into that. I think the Oscars animation category is the best, and it's pretty bad, but it's like better than the Emmys category, and it's better than this.
Well, we all know that the Oscars, they don't, I don't think they pander or they like specifically just seek out to vote for Pixar every single time.
Yeah, at least, they, in fact, you could say that the Oscar animation voters are sometimes too independent. Like they sometimes seek out the weird movie.
But however, I don't think it's a coincidence that Pixar has won pretty much every Oscar since.
Yeah, that has changed recently. That was more of a.
Since Spirited Away.
That's definitely not true anymore, but it was a few years ago. That was true. But I also think that probably the best, for many, many of those years, the best animated film was the Pixar film. So I don't think that was wrong, but it's changed recently though. They've gotten more independent centric, the Oscar animation category.
No, I lied. Rango won in 2011, and Brave was Pixar. No, I lied. Frozen, Pixar. Which was Disney, and Big Hero 6.
It stopped around when people say Pixar got bad, but
Cars too.
We'll see if Finding Dory pulls that out. I would assume. By the way, I assume the front runner in this category for the Annie is Moana. Disney shill. Zootopia is also a Disney film and is also a good big contender. I would say both of those are also probably more likely than Finding Dory.
I think Moana might win.
I think it probably will. Moana has a 98% on Rotten Tomatoes at the moment.
I think that's gonna win.
Zootopia though was heralded as like an intelligent kids movie, which I hate the relegation kids movie, but both of those it seems like they could win. I think Finding Dory is
I have something to say about that when we get further down.
Okay. I think Finding Dory is, they break it up by child and the TV show. I think Finding Dory is too much of a sequel stigma potentially to win this category. And I think what I just said applies to the Oscar also, but we'll see what's nominated. But yeah, the feature independent, I don't know. We said all that. I'm excited to see a lot of these, and that you could treat this as a recommendation list. That's one of the best parts of nominating obscure films is that they get exposure.
Film recs.
Yeah. We have best animated special production. I don't know what this means. So
I think this means like like shorts, or like how I guess sometimes ABC would run like Toy Story, like Halloween thing. Or like like the Frozen like wedding thing or whatever.
Yeah, I guess it's like specials. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff like that. I feel like.
Yeah, so we don't need to run through. I mean, I don't know. Audrey and Daisy, Kung Fu Panda, Secrets of the Scroll. I don't even know what that is. Little Big Awesome, animated by Titmouse apparently, which is friends of Avatar: Last Airbender. So that's cool. I think I heard about that. One of the Amazon shows was from Titmouse. That's cool. Middle School, Worst Years of My Life, Pearl, Cider, and Cigarettes. So yeah, I haven't. I guess I've heard of it.
Sounds like my kind of a
Cider and Cigarettes.
Parasite. You said Pearl the first time.
Yeah, I said Pearl because we're going to talk about the Steven Universe, but animation shorts, best animated short subject. So this is the other Oscar category. We have Blind, Vishaya, Deerflower, Path Title Sequence, Pearl. There you go, and Piper. Piper's the one.
Yeah, Piper's the only one.
Piper was the one before Finding Dory. I saw that. I've seen that one. It's very good. I don't think there's like no story there, so I didn't particularly like it, but it was extremely like well animated and cute.
Dude,
and stuff.
Okay, so when I went to go see Finding Dory. It was like 1:00 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
And, I was like in my like, depressed like sweats and whatnot. And I went to the movie theater, and as soon as like, the beginning of Piper starts, I start crying. I started crying.
It's very emotional short, Sam.
It was also that time of the month, so.
Okay, but did you enjoy Piper though?
I think I did. It was a while ago. Let's be real.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've seen one of these. So the thing I want to say about these animated shorts is that obviously we can't see most of them right now, but the past few years, I don't know who has the authority to do this, but they've been released on demand as a package. That you can buy for like $10 or something.
Or sometimes if you live like
it's the Oscar nominated ones, of course, not the Annie ones.
Yeah,
but, and they screen them in independent theaters too. Yeah,
I was about to say that. Yeah, if you live like in a city around Oscar time, they'll do like
they do this for the live action ones. Yeah, and
for the price of like one ticket, they'll do like all the shorts.
Yeah, so that's going to be something to look out for, and maybe we'll podcast on the shorts as well. So I'm interested to see a lot of these. Animated television / broadcast commercial. We're not going to get into that.
That's kind of weird.
They have no, I think that's good to have like a awards that like pay attention to this. Like,
who
else is going to nominate the animated commercial? Like, but whatever, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, it's just very interesting.
Yeah, animated television production for preschool children. I don't know any of these.
Let's read them anyway.
No,
let's see.
We're not announcing the awards, but
I'll read them.
Okay.
Ask the Storybots episode. We
don't need to read the episode.
Yes, I will. Why do I have to brush my teeth? I ask myself that question all the time.
Okay, you just wanted to say that, but
yes. Peg and Cat, Puff and Rock, The Stinky and Dirty Show. Okay, and Tumbleleaf.
Okay, I see Jib Jab / Netflix. That's interesting.
Jib Jab. What are they doing these days?
They're doing stuff like this, I guess. So I have nothing to say about those. I haven't seen any of them. So let's talk about best animated television / broadcast production for children. So again, the Annies are the next category is general audience / broadcast production. So they're not having a best one. They're dividing it instead by kids, adult. This is a stupid designation. It should be called adult comedy / other. That's my big thing. You should separate.
It says best general audience. Okay.
Yeah, that's stupid. You should
a
separate.
lot of these Venture Brothers, BoJack Horseman, Bob's Burger, like this more like more adult comedy based, not general.
Yes.
Like,
so my opinion is you should, and not for necessarily the Annies, for everyone, you should have two categories. It should be adult comedy specifically, and then other, like normal. You put Bob's Burgers, Simpsons, all those, Archer in one category. Those are much more similar to each other than your Cartoon Network shows. So it kind of has this effect, though. So yeah, the children one, which is your non-adult comedy, it takes the effect of here is Adventure Time, Voltron, Elena of Avalor, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and Wander Over Yonder. So, here's what's the obvious thing here, Sam, that there's no Steven Universe.
Yeah.
In fact, if you Control F Steven Universe, it is not nominated for one single award.
That's interesting.
So here's the problem with this: is that I think Steven Universe is the best show on television, not just the best animated show, but the best show on television. And it is by far and away, I think, with the exception of potentially Voltron and Rick and Morty, the best animated show on television. Those are in the running as well. Not nominating it is completely tone deaf to what's actual animation quality. I mean, yes, this is just my opinion, but how is that even possible that you would not nominate Steven Universe?
I don't know. It's kind of weird.
Well, again, these are not super legitimate. I mean,
who is Elena of Avalor?
Elena of Avalor it's a spin-off of that other one.
Princess
Sophia the First. Yeah,
is it actually?
It's a spin-off about Princess Sophia the First. I've heard good things. It is. I've heard good things about the show. Actually,
God.
It's supposed to be very good. I don't know why this is in this one and not the preschool one, but then again, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
No, it is on like actual Disney and not at like Playhouse Disney.
Okay, I guess so. I've heard it's very good. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I don't know what the state of that show is right now.
When I was watching it, it was pretty good.
Okay.
I would assume that it's still doing good.
And Wander Over Yonder is supposed to be good as well, but
yeah, like it just ended, I think, too.
Yeah, so Adventure Time, I think Adventure Time is still very good. They put Bad Jubies up for nomination, which is so weird because that's one of their special guest animated episodes by stop motion person.
Bad
I think you skipped that one. I don't think you watched
I probably did.
I thought it was very good, but I don't know why that's your nomination for this. That's a weird episode to put.
Maybe because it wasn't Usual Adventure Time?
They put up, for the Emmy for last year, they put up the Hall of Egress, which I thought was an excellent choice. I think that episode's incredible. But Bad Jubies is such a weird choice to put up. Like, and by put up, I mean you send them an episode and they evaluate it based on that.
Maybe the team just thought that was one of their better ones.
I mean, I do think it was a particularly good episode. I think it was the best of the guest animated episodes they've done.
Probably. No, I like the glitch. I like the glitch one. That was my favorite.
Okay. But yeah, that's a weird choice. Voltron nominated is Excellent Taste, of course. Voltron, I think, is one of the best shows on television.
I still haven't seen it.
You should. I mean, it's not a Sam show, but you should probably watch it.
It's whatever constitutes as a Sam show.
Yeah, it's not a Sam show. They put up Return of the Gladiator, which I have not seen anyone else heralded it as the best episode of Voltron. So I think that this is my doing. That this is their choice. This is episode 3.
It's all Dylan.
I mean, I have put this as clearly said this was the best.
That's a secret. Dylan is actually the head honcho of the Emmy, not the Emmy.
I mean, look, if you're someone trying to figure out what a studio, because studios probably put these up and they could consult the crews, but really I think it's the studio's decision. And you're thinking like, what episode is the best episode of the show? Who else is reviewing Voltron but us? Not that many people. So maybe, maybe. But
I see a pretty big fan base for it.
There's a big fan base for Voltron though. Yeah. Return of the Gladiator is their 3rd episode. It is excellent. It's one of my favorite episodes of TV of the year. It's gotten a twist ending to the 3rd episode. It's got one of the best fight scenes of the year. It's incredible.
Twist.
Very, very good site. Yeah, I mean, the twist is pretty widely known at this point, but we're not going to spoil it anyway. Yeah, great episode, great show. The other three I have not seen. Wander Over Yonder, I think, won this last year.
Shrug.
This category, and I don't know. It's supposed to be good. So let's talk about what would your? I mean, you've seen one of these, so I guess, and you haven't used it yet. Yeah. I mean, I would choose Voltron over Adventure Time this year, but Adventure Time is also very good. They're very different shows, obviously.
It's anyone's game. I don't know.
I don't know if that's true. It's probably the Disney show that's going to win.
Sam doesn't have any.
So here's the general audience, which is their stupid name for this. They got Bob's Burgers, BoJack Horseman, Long Live the Royals, Simpsons, and Venture Bros. I don't know what Long Live the Royals is.
I just looked it up. It's like a mini series, like in the vein of, not like in the vein of, but you know how like they did Over the Garden Wall. It's like
it's by the regular show guy.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I see.
So, yeah.
2015. What? Why is this eligible?
Let's review their ruals.
So in general, eligibility
this year's rules.
I said I should have said this in the beginning, but its eligibility is January to December of this year. So whatever. We could go into the nitty gritty of this, but I don't feel like it. So that's
okay. Well, with their nominees, they're just shutting out a whole month of worth of stuff. Why didn't they wait till January to release the list?
In theory, they would have gotten screeners for the unreleased episodes. But yeah, if you're reviewing a whole series, then I agree. Yeah. So I don't watch any of these currently. But BoJack Horseman's on my to watch, obviously.
I watched like 2 episodes of BoJack Horseman, and I wasn't particularly impressed.
People really like it. It's supposed to be very good. I'm sure I'll like it. Bob's Burgers, people like Bob's Burgers a lot.
I like Bob's Burgers. I need to catch up with them.
Oh yeah, you're not caught up, but you watch it. Okay. Simpsons. I haven't watched Simpsons in like 3, 4, or 5 years, but that's still like modern Simpsons that people said was bad, and it wasn't bad. It was good. So people say Simpsons is bad now, and it's not. So whatever. I don't know. I haven't watched it currently, and Venture Bros I have not seen.
That's like my stepdad's favorite show.
Interesting. By Titmouse as well. So that's cool.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know. I have no real opinions about these kinds of shows.
I don't either. Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like we need to just shove adult comedy animation off a cliff for a little bit.
I mean, Bob's Burgers is supposed to be very good. Archer has been very good. BoJack's supposed to be good. Here's something obvious, but I guess so Rick and Morty should always win this category, but it did not air this year, so there's that. So it's not. I guess it's not eligible. Although Long Live the Royals was eligible, so who knows? If Rick and Morty was eligible, it should be nominated and win. It's incredible. Aired this year and was canceled was Moonbeam City on Comedy Central. We covered that show. I think that's worthy. It wasn't incredible, but it was very good. So
I did not watch it.
Yeah, so there you go.
I don't think a lot of people did, considering it got canceled.
And then we have Best Student Film, which, obviously we haven't seen these, so
I was actually on the lookout because there's a kid who goes to the school I went to. He had a short film that was like nominated for a bunch of stuff. It is not here, obviously. I would have mentioned that, but yeah.
Yeah, that's cool.
I didn't really like it.
I do like that they do student film and stuff. It's the type of thing that we should be doing. This is all like in theory correct, but
so
the categories are good, kind of, but yeah.
So you just want me to be like, bring up my art school buddies, like, hey, do you have any short films that we can review on my animation podcast, guys?
I mean, I'm sure if we wanted to like get these, we could get them, and then
if we wanted, we could be like,
it's probably on YouTube or something, Something else. There should be a category for like pilot, one spin-off. Cartoon Network releases pilots. Occasionally they just did Victor and Valentino and Infinity Train in their pilot development program. There should be some sort of category for this. Maybe that's kind of short, maybe that's like one episode kind of thing, but that should probably also be a thing.
Yeah.
Then the rest are individual achievement stuff.
Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I mean, this is some of these are just directions. We can talk about that. So this is effects. It's just the same thing except Red Turtle in place of Finding Dory for the lead category, which makes sense. Studio Ghibli would be in the effects category one. This is live action effects. Yeah. They have like kind of an FX category, like that's kind of in this realm.
BFG, Ghostbusters.
They have character animation. Weird choices for this. I don't really understand that. Character animation in a feature, which is some of the similar ones.
Blah, blah, blah.
Character animation in live action, as they...
Captain America.
Yeah, the Game of Thrones on there.
I guess Spider-Man was animated. I don't know.
A video game.
Video game.
Yeah, there's some stuff there. Character animation in TV. Character design in a feature. Yeah. These are good categories to have, but directing in a animated TV broadcast production. There you go. Okay, so we have a love story. I don't know what that is.
Passion Pictures. Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay, I googled a love story. That's gonna help.
A love story director. I can't pronounce your name. I'm not going to attempt. Sorry.
Digital love story came up. That's good. Novel, yeah. Adventure Time, Bad Jubilees again. Kristen Leopold, The Stop Nation. That was good. Open Season, Pearl, Wonder Ranch. So that's kind of a amalgam of several categories they did before. Outstanding Achievement Directing in a Feature, Kubo, My Life is Zucchini, Red Turtle, Your Names.
Okay. So they're mixing the independent and the wide release.
Right. So obviously they're capable of it for directing. So why aren't they capable of it for other? So Makoto Shinkai gets a nomination there. That's cool. They have music. Bob's Burgers, Disney, Mickey Mouse, Troll Hunters, Pearl, Star Wars Rebels. Obviously Steven Universe composers should be on there. I think the Voltron music should be on there. Gravity Falls. We'll talk about whether that was eligible.
God, is there just an embargo against Steven Universe?
Yep, it's not on any of these categories. Music in a feature, production design. Again, Adventure Time sent one episode. We got more production design, storyboarding. That's good. If we had any of our shows here, we would. These are movies though. No, Milo Murphy's Law. So that's interesting. That was a recent release. So that got in there. Disney. Storyboarding in a feature. Voice acting. Okay, here you go. So voice acting category. There's not many of these. There's one in the Emmys, I think, but you have Alison Brie for BoJack Horseman. This is probably them just trying to get people there, but I'm not sure. Will Townsend, Open Season. I can't even. A Puppeteer. Leslie Carrada, Star Wars Rebels. Who they get? Lars Mikkelsen, Peabody and Shorman. Carlos Alquasi. Okay, I don't understand these choices.
Oh, it's Rocky.
It's Rocky. There you go. I don't know.
Alison Brie. He's the dude who did the.
That's interesting.
Taco Bell dog.
Oh, okay. I'm glad you know that.
He's one of the more noted voice actors. Dylan, okay. I'm surprised you don't know who he is.
I actually think he's
done a bunch of stuff. He was Spyro the first game and other stuff.
I know every person that's been in Avatar, so it's possible.
Pull up that old.
Yep, he's Tho and Do in Avatar. Yeah, so yeah, I know literally everyone. Okay, voice acting in a movie. Kubo, the person who did Kubo, the girl did Moana. Storks. Yeah, I forgot that movie existed. Tulip. Trolls, Zoe Deschanel, so again, Jason Bateman for Zootopia. We're kind of nominating the stars here. So that's a thing. Writing in TV.
Again, they mix the quote-unquote children's with the...
Yeah. So here's the interesting part. So you have Bob's Burgers, Puffin Rock, two Simpsons writers, and you have Gravity Falls in this random category, which if you nominate Gravity Falls, you're getting Alex Hirsch, you're getting, I guess you're not getting the... Homestar Runner guy for this episode. I thought he was on this one, but anyway. So Gravity Falls aired one episode this year, the series finale. I don't know if it was eligible for best show. If it was, it should have won that because it's great, it should have been nominated for that. I don't know why you're putting this for writing. I think it's an interesting choice to nominate Gravity Falls for writing. At least it's got something, I guess. And Alex Hirsch tweeted about that, so that's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Any other comments on? I mean, they're just. I don't know, what is Puffin Rock.
I have no clue. I assume it has something to do with penguins.
Yeah, writing in feature, Kubo, Zucchini, Red Turtle, Zootopia, 4 nominees there. Interesting. Outstanding achievement editorial.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Let's check. Let's check the.
Does that mean like editing or?
I guess, right?
But doesn't editorial mean something else? I'm unsure.
Yeah, I guess it's no, it's editor. Okay. I don't think the Oscars call it editorial. I think they just call it editor.
Yeah, editorial makes it sound like a newspaper.
So it's editing. Okay. There you go. Gravity Falls also nominated for that one. Interesting. And then feature editing, and that's it. And then they have jury awards. So there you go. There's our nominations.
And that Sausage Party is nominated.
Sausage Party is nominated for
Sausage Party
for feature movie.
I was talking to Dylan yesterday. I was like, Dylan, what if Sausage Party is nominated for an Oscar? Then we're gonna have to podcast on it. And
it's probably not going to be.
Yeah.
But it could be. It was one of the 22 submitted for the Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. That's why we were talking about it.
Yeah, that's why we're talking about it.
Because the short list is short list or long list.
It's the long list. These are the ones that were put up for it.
Yeah, and Sausage Party is in that. And okay, so Sausage Party. My coworkers like to talk to me about it sometimes whenever it came out, and they're like, "Oh my God, Sam, it's so funny. You should watch it." I was like, "No, I'd rather not. Thank you."
Yeah. We're going to podcast on that at some point.
Yeah, well, we were, but, it just fell through. Well, maybe someday.
Yeah. Maybe we will. I mean, if it gets the Oscar nom, we'll do it. But...
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy. So there you go. There's the overall, what's your impression of the Annie Award nominations?
Honestly, it's just, boring. A lot of Z's over my head. I get the feature... the nominations for the feature films is interesting. I think at least within the more technical nominations, storyboarding, editing, etc. There's more variety, as there usually is, along with stuff like the Oscars and whatnot. But in terms of the television nominations, it's just boring. I mean, there's so many more shows, such as Steven Universe. There's I'm sure plenty of others that are worthy of recognition from, something that I think is considered the industry, benchmark of awards. And they're just not being recognized, and I don't really understand why. Sorry?
Yeah. So advice to the Annie Awards, nominate the correct things. I don't know.
All right, well, I don't know, Dylan, you did all the podcasts on Star Wars Rebels. Would you rather them see them be nominated for something else other than voice acting, or editorial?
Star Wars noms only. I think if you're going to nominate Rebels, it's going to be for the technical categories. I think that makes sense.
I guess.
It's not a particularly well. I mean, I'm not caught up, but
or Moon
not
Meme
a particularly
City,
well show. So I mean that should have been somewhere in here. I don't know why you don't nominate Rob Lowe for voice acting for that show.
Or I don't know, even freaking South Park or something. I don't know.
Yeah, South Park not on here. That's interesting.
Yeah, exactly. So it's
people
not just...
consider. I don't currently watch South Park, but
I don't
people
either.
Consider it very good right now. So okay, how about this? What would be our 5? So we haven't seen enough movies do that yet. We'll do that later. But the 5 shows we'd nominate, if there's just a general any animated show, American, what would be the 5 nominees?
Well,
so Steven Universe is one.
Mm-hmm.
So Rick and Morty didn't air this year, so we're not going to include that. We're not going to include Gravity Falls because it aired 1 episode this year. So to me, that's the top tier. Voltron would be my number 2, putting it in that category.
I don't know what my number 2 would be, but I would put Adventure Time somewhere in there.
Yeah, Adventure Time might make my list. I was talking about this with Delaney at the end of the last podcast. I think Star vs. the Force of Evil has separated itself.
That
from
is also not on the list.
Star is not. Yeah, Star, a Disney show, and is nowhere to be seen here. I think Star has particularly separated itself from the rest of the good but not great type of animated shows on air right now. So I'd put Star on this list.
Would Ruby be considered to be
I think it would be eligible for this now. I think they're accepting online, but it would be nowhere near close to quality.
Yeah, because they're doing like Netflix and Amazon.
Yeah, so I think that would count. But yeah, that wouldn't be on my list. I don't know what other shows there's a convenient place to look at all the shows we cover. So that's generally just what I watch. You could look at our website, and there's these show specific iTunes feeds. Ladybug is not American. It would be on the brink. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably put Adventure Time and potentially New Powerpuff Girls, to be honest. It's been very consistent.
Teen Titans Go, or like...
No, I don't think no. Don't. People get mad at you. Don't do that.
I don't care. It's like I can understand. It's a very annoying show.
I mean, there's other good shows that we don't cover. Like people have been very high on Loud House this year. That's not on this list at all. That's probably Nick's best show, although I don't watch it.
I'm done with Nick.
People like Regular Show, that's ending. I think that's the one that's ending. People
Regular Show also not on the list.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere. Or maybe I was just the guy who...
Yeah, just the guy who did the one thing. Yeah. Personally, I never really liked Regular Show that much. I thought it was kind of boring.
I don't know. I haven't really seen Gumball. People like that show. But Stakes was last year, the Adventure Time miniseries. If that was at all eligible, that should certainly be in its own thing as kind of this. Yeah, I guess I'd put Adventure Time then in the 5. I probably said 5, but yeah. We'll see on the rest of the movies. We'll cover them. We haven't seen enough yet. But yeah, there you go. There's our Annie's discussion. What else? What else do we miss, Sam?
I don't know. Anything else Annie worthy?
Let us know what you think should have been nominated for these categories, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, you guys have more foot traffic than we do about Annie's and whatnot.
Yeah.
We can also look at the past nominees and winners, etc.
I mean, we'll be depressed. I think the winners are even, worse than. Well, we can look. Legacy, right? I'm looking. Yes. Yeah.
Apparently, Tumbleleaf is a show. Apparently, for preschool children, and Okay, so Steven Universe was nominated last year.
Okay.
For Jailbreak. They were nominated. Did not win. Moonbeam City was nominated last year.
Didn't that show this year?
It was nominated last year.
Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it just aired last year and I'm just look like an idiot. I guess it did. Yep,
you're right. Apparently, it was nominated last year.
Yeah, it's just last year. But there's 2015 stuff on. I don't know. Okay, so I apologize for saying that last year. Yeah, last year Korra was nominated and it didn't win, which is a Gravity Falls one though. But
a real travesty, honestly.
Yeah, Korra not winning. I mean, come on. So last year's nominations. I mean, here's your children's category last year's Adventure Time, or this was 2 years ago, I guess.
Yeah, I'm looking 2 years as well.
Adventure Time, Gravity Falls, Korra, Over the Garden Wall, Wander Over Yonder. 4 of those 5, excellent nominations. But, yeah, I guess I'm looking at 2 years ago right now.
Yeah, I was looking at last year, but yeah. So I guess they just didn't think certain shows were up to par this year, or maybe just, people didn't submit. Or, I don't know, maybe...
Oh, yeah, that's the other thing I was going to say. We don't know who submitted. I forgot to say that. But this is also, to the point where people... It depends who submits for things and what categories. I should have said that in the beginning. Also, Star nominated last year, not nominated this year.
Really? Really?
For their best episode. But
it looks like they got rid of some categories. I'm looking at 3 years ago, and they had a Best Animated Video Game category. That is not.
No, we had that. We had or I don't know if we had that.
No, it was just best. No, it was best animated video game, along with the other main nominations. The last one.
Sam, Boy in the World won for animated feature independent. We saw that movie. We podcasted on that movie.
I guess we did.
Yeah. Do you remember that at all?
Barely.
It went over when Marnie was there. That's kind of an atrocity. But that being said, Boy in the World was very interesting.
You were really hype on that movie, if I remember correctly.
I thought that it was particularly interesting. I don't think it was particularly good, but
yeah, I don't think it was interesting. I don't think it was particularly.
That was one of our better. You should go listen to that podcast from last year. I talked about how that movie is like a metaphor for capitalist.
Yeah, I was just sitting there,
which it was for the record. And yeah.
It should also be noted the two independent and mainstream movies weren't always separated. I'm looking at, I think, 2010 2010? 2010.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, Wreck-It Ralph, along with, all the other ones. Maybe they just didn't, I don't know. The Rabbi's Cat.
Yeah, that was the thing. I remember that. I didn't see it, but...
You should have saw it, Dylan. I don't know what it was.
Yeah, so there you go. Anyway, so I said enough, and I should have said not Moonbeam City. We should have referenced the previous ones, and I should have said that it depends what people put themselves up for, because it's possible people don't even put themselves up for these categories.
Yeah.
Anyway, there you go. That's it. We've gone too long. So there's our analysis of the Annie Awards. Let us know what you thought. YouTube comments, Tumblr asks, or comments on the website overlyanimated.com. And look for our movie podcast in the future. Hopefully we'll ramp up the movie discussions. So yeah, check us out at overlyanimated.com. Consider supporting us at patreon.com/overlyanimated. Thank you very much to our patrons: Mitch Cordell, Beatrice, Nate, Andy, Jamie, Rachel, John, Ryan, Catherine, Taylor, Devon, Jay, John, Finish, and Victoria, and Katrin. A.K.A. Phoebe, Mitch, Garner, CV, Exchange, Nathan, Philly, and Buzz Lightyear, Man, Managers, Giant, Brian, Cook, Ken, Needle, Diamond, Day, Jewel, Garfield, Fusion, Skylar, Patron, Katrin. Next podcast, News to Universe episode on Thursday. If you're listening to this before then, the first. Bunch of stuff coming up this weekend. Actually, Ruby, new Powerpuff Girls, Junior's feedback show, and then there's a bunch of other interesting specific topic ones that we're going to be doing. So, potentially one on an interesting topic this weekend. We'll see if that happens.
Wait, what?
I don't want to.
I looked on the staff page. I'm going to look again.
Yeah, you can look on the staff page. There you go. I listed all the.
You did. I'm just trying to figure out which one you're talking about.
Number 12. I'm talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
so we'll see if that.
Who cares about that?
People like that, but we'll see. Okay, so that was frustrating for listeners. See if you can figure out once we release it.
See if you can hack our staff page and see what we're talking about.
Don't do that. But yeah, there you go. There you go. Thanks for listening, guys, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.